Almost 2 years ago, we moved to Gainesville. We didn't know anybody. We'd moved from overseas, and in past experience when I had been assigned overseas, establishing networks and getting to know job possibilities, seeing what might match your background, your expertise, was always challenging. We had 2 children associated with the university, and my wife, through the AARP magazine, heard about this seminar for Back to Work 50+ people who want to get back into the workforce. And my first reaction was, oh man, I don't know if I want to go to that thing. We had tried all the networks we knew, which again weren't many. We had applied to jobs at the University of Florida. I don't think we were doing it correctly, and as I look back now with the skills I got at the seminar, I realized that we weren't. And that was kind of discouraging. And my wife said, what have we got to lose? It's free, Let's go and check it out. And I said, oh, with all those old people, And I showed up, I was the oldest one there. But we went there, it was an evening session, and we were so impressed with Carolyn Doss and Joanne Wilkes, and how friendly they were, and how opening the material they gave us was very good. It was just a 1-hour session the first evening to see if we were interested, and invited us to come back the second week. And still I was like, well, I got all this, I can read it, I can decipher this stuff. Why do I need to go to a second session? But my wife persuaded me, and we went again and learned more, and then found out their calendar of all the different programs they were planning through the week for several weeks. And I began to look at that and said, this could be some really good stuff. When we came to the first actual workshop, just to meet all the other people in our cohort who were in a similar situation. And there's something about a community of people who are all trying to seek the same objective, to get employment that matches their interest and matches their skill set or just their work experience. And so we were in the same boat, and that was neat. And to get to know each other, Joanne really helped us try to connect with each other and find out about each other's background. And nobody was condescending. Everybody was very respectful. They spoke to us. They were encouraging us. They were trying to tell us that it's entirely possible. By the end of this session, we're going to get some of you guys jobs. And I'm sitting there back like, yeah, right, okay. I'll believe it when I see it. I was kind of a doubtful type person. And we started out with sessions on how to write your resumes, and I said, been there, done that, but I looked at the stuff they were teaching, and I had a lot to learn in terms of how to make my resume specific to the jobs that I was applying to, and how to go through the offers for the jobs, looking for keywords, looking for what their focus was, what their passion was, what their interests were, their mission as an organization, and being able to incorporate that verbiage or those key words into my resume and into my cover letter. And as a result of the workshop, I ended up having 4 interviews, and before I had none, 4 interviews in person with people who were interested in who I am and what I could bring to their company. Ended up getting 2 offers of employment, and the one here in Gainesville that we finally found just came because Joanne sent me this thing saying, here's this opportunity at a nonprofit that looks like it's down your line. It's the kind of thing you've been doing at the local Ronald McDonald House charity. And I more read about that, the more excited I got about it. And so I contacted them, and they seemed interested, and we had a phone interview, and then we had an in-person interview. And I was given the job. It was like great, an operations director for the house. And as I looked online and saw the videos of the children and families who've been helped by the Ronald McDonald House Charities, it felt like it was a vocation. It felt like it was a passion. Never dreamed, because I had looked at nonprofit, I've been in nonprofit management most of my life, and I'd looked at nonprofit jobs in Gainesville, but they were all specialty things associated somehow with the hospitals or with the university. Unless you knew about cancer research, unless you knew about environmental, whatever it is, your skills as a manager were not that transferable. They needed you to know the product and what they were about. And Ronald McDonald House was just a very, very good match for me. And so I'm excited. Yeah, it worked out, and man, they could not have been more helpful and more encouraging. As when I found out that there was an interest, then I found, okay, if I'm going for an interview, I even asked them, so what do I wear to the interview? And they said, wear this. So this is what I wore to the interview. That's why I wore it today. Because when you came to the workshop, we're just kind of in casual stuff. And so I want to be overdressed. He says, no, the kind of people you're going to be meeting, they're going to want to see if you're going to be able to talk to people who might be interested in investing in what Ronald McDonald House is doing. So I dressed up, and it was just Before I went in for the interview, I went back over their website. I went back over their national website. I must have watched all their videos online on YouTube to get a sense of who they are and what their calling is as an organization. And when I came into the interview, I felt like I was already part of the group. I mean, I wasn't just using the keywords that they use, but I was actually feeling them because I felt a great affinity to what they were doing. I think they saw that, I saw that, and got the job offer shortly after. I would highly recommend this to anybody else. I was sitting in my house thinking I'm just not going to get a job, and I didn't want to retire. I couldn't afford to retire yet, and yet we didn't know anybody, so I didn't know how to network out there, and the few people we did know didn't seem to have something that would match who we were and who I was and my skill set and background. And so I'm very grateful for this workshop. It was really good hands-on stuff, skill sets for everybody in our cohort. And I'm hopeful that many of them too have now found places of employment as a result of this workshop. And I would encourage people out there who are wondering, do I have to retire early and collect less Social Security than I had hoped? If they know they have the skills, if they know they can deliver, if they know they have the passion for what their skill set is, come to a workshop like this. You're going to find you're among friends. You're going to find them make you feel at home very quickly, and they're really advocating for you. They really are. And those elements all together made the whole difference for me. It was an attitudinal thing for me to get out there and do it.